Hey guys, Sean Terry here, flip2freedom.com, and we are back with another video for the 2020 Labor Day sale. I'm so excited. We got our product suite 86% off, all the bonuses, and I want to highlight a couple of the different products so you kind of know what they are and what you are getting with this, this incredible sale. So first off, we've got escape plan. So maybe you don't know what the escape plan is, but it's based around the 4 phases of freedom. And it's laid out around the 4 phases of freedom. Now, the 4 phases of freedom are phase one is getting your first check in record time, right? So if you have not got your first check yet, then this portion, phase 1, is critical, because it goes in detail of explaining wholesaling, explaining all the verbiage, the lingo, the process, how to get paid, the contracts in detail. Literally, I go through the contracts so you understand the conceptual idea of wholesaling on a basic brand new level. We actually go through and I give you terminology in the definition of it, what it is and what it means, how the title company plays a role. What does signing look like when you get a contract signed and you find a buyer, right? And what does that signing day look like? Do you do an assignment or do you do a double escrow? Those are choices that you have to make, and there's contracts that go with it and direction that you have to give to the title company. So we explain that in phase 1, the beginning processes. Then we talk about lead generation. I actually give you a spreadsheet that is, it's a KPI spreadsheet. It's like an 8-week spreadsheet, and it allows you to get laser focused on generating leads. Leads, right? Once you generate a lead, then it gives you the ability to make an offer, and you have to know how to make an offer, right? And you have to know how to get a lead. So we give you the 3 best, most cost-effective lead generation methods that I would do if I was brand new starting here today. We give you actually free methods, and we give you cheap methods, and we give you paid methods. So it doesn't matter if you have a minimal budget, maybe no budget, maybe you have just a very small budget, or maybe you do have, you're working a job, you're making $80,000 a year and you want to do this on the side and you're okay putting on a credit card and postcards and stuff like that. So we give you, it doesn't matter what your background is or your budgets, you can get started, and we show you exactly how to generate leads. Now, once you get a lead, then now we have to be able to talk to that seller, negotiate, and get a contract. Now, you would think it would be very difficult and it's hard and it's like, oh man, I gotta now talk to a seller and talk them into selling their house. If you do it the way that I show you, then sellers are going to reach out to you because they want to sell their house. They need to sell their house, and they want you to buy their house. And what's about to hit the real estate market, and what I call the real estate default tsunami, I've been talking about it on YouTube and YouTube videos, and Remote Millions course we've been talking about, but the real estate default tsunami, it's going to change the way it's going to be crazy because there are going to be so many foreclosures. To the tune they're saying right now, about 8.6 million foreclosures that are about to hit the market, and I think that number's low. There's a record of 57 million people that have been unemployed. Obviously, a lot have been hired back, but it's going to create a default tsunami, meaning there's going to be a ton of flood, a tsunami of houses that are going to in foreclosure, and these sellers are going to need to sell. Otherwise, the bank will take that property back from them, and they're going to lose their credit and they're going to lose their equity, and you can help them save their credit and save their equity by doing exactly what we're talking about. So we're going to show that. So now you're going to get a lead, and it could be a foreclosure from someone in this default tsunami, and you can help them save their credit and save their equity and work with them to get the property under contract, and then help them turn around, well, help them find a buyer. Well, you're gonna help find a buyer for that property, and we show you how to find cash buyers. Actually, we use REI Automator to do it, which is part of this this package right here. It's part of this Labor Day sale. So we find buyers directly in there, and buyers right now, the market is hot. Interest rates are low. It's weird because the real estate market's booming, and then you have this pending, default tsunami that's happening. It's just such a weird thing, weird like craziness going on right now in the marketplace. So the bottom line is that there are tons of buyers out there to sell your properties to. So we show you specifically how to go out and how to make that happen. Now the next thing is we have the once you find the buyer for the property, we show you how to negotiate, how to get that property under contract, how to basically then now open up escrow with the title company. We talk about how to find a title company, what to say, what to look for in a title company, and you're able to understand that process and talk the lingo of the title company. Say, hey, listen, I'd like to open up escrow. We got earnest money deposit coming from the buyer. Here's the contract on the BC side, and we're going to be doing a double escrow, and we're looking to close, in 7 to 10 days from now. Is that something you can do? So we understand that process. You're going to be able to talk and have confidence after doing that. So that is phase one. Now your goal in phase one, because you have to have a goal to achieve. The goal is to get your first check. Now, previously I shared a screenshot here of a gentleman that was on Facebook. I believe it was Facebook that, it was Facebook, and he went out and he basically said, hey, I got Sean's course, it cost me $500, and it retired me. John came back and said, hey, how long did that take? And he goes, well, and he came back and said it took 90 days to close his first deal is $17,500, and it took another 90 days to get to $100,000 a month in revenue. So how did he do that? Well, let's talk about this. And he's talking about the escape plan. He's talking about he got his first check. He did that, accomplished that. Once you get your first check, that is the most exciting thing. And it's the breakthrough, because once you've got your first check, now you understand the process. You can rinse and repeat. It's just like riding a bike. Once you get it, you get it. Once you get your balance, you're off. Now you can ride your bike and you're good and you're off to the races. It's amazing. So that's phase one of the escape plan. Phase two is getting 1 year's worth of income in the bank as fast as humanly possible. So what we do is we teach you how to rinse and repeat. You set a goal. Let's say theoretically you make $50,000 a year. Your goal is to get $50,000 of cash in the bank from wholesaling. That means you're building relationships with buyers. You have a good relationship with your title company, your escrow agent, your closing officer, right? You understand marketing. You understand the KPIs or generating leads and making offers and getting contracts. You understand that process. So now you have confidence, and more importantly, you have momentum. Now I see people, they get their first check like I did and quit, but they don't have the momentum that's going to take them through, which is to phase three. So phase one, the goal is get your first check. Phase two, the goal is to get 1 year's worth of income. Let's say theoretically $50,000 of cash in the bank as fast as humanly possible. Phase three is now you take the option and quit your job. So now you get to go in, you've done, $50,000 in revenue, it's in the bank, you got it done, you're confident, you got momentum. Now you can go in and you can quit. It's a scary thing, because guess what? That paycheck is not going to come every 2 weeks. It's all dependent upon you and what you do and how you do it. So I know the first time when I quit my job, it is scary. And I quit too early. I quit in phase one. I quit when I got my first check. And guess what? I didn't get a check for 2 months after that, because I didn't have my momentum. I didn't have my system down. And and that paycheck every 2 weeks, when that doesn't come, it kind of freaks you out. But guess what? I went out and did it. I got another check. It was a smaller check. It was $2,000. My first check was $11,000. My next check was like $2,000, and I didn't get another check after that for a couple months. But then I got a $36,000 check, and that kind of changed everything. I was like, wow, okay. And now I understood momentum and what was happening. Now, like I said, I don't suggest that. I suggest getting momentum and then turning around and quitting your job because you have confidence and you understand the process of going out and getting deals. Now, that's phase 3. Phase 4, you quit your job and now you're a solopreneur. You're doing 2 and 3, maybe 4 deals a month. Maybe you're making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month in revenue closing deals, but you're doing everything yourself. You're a solopreneur. You're talking to all the buyers, talking to all the sellers, you're doing all the marketing, you're doing the books, you're going to sellers' houses, you're negotiating over the phone, you're managing the closing process, you're doing all the jobs. Now, what we talk about in phase 4 is the ability of what you do now is to start hiring people. Now, it's an abbreviated version of a 100K wholesaler, but we show that process of what you're building, right? You have an organizational chart with a lead manager, an acquisition team, and disposition team, and a marketing person, right? And you have that team of people. You can start filling the slots and kind of backfilling instead of your name being on every single picture now, or every single slot. Now you can fill that with people's names, which is your team, and that's how you scale very quickly to $100,000 a month in revenue. So that's the 4 phases of freedom. That's what it covers. It's in detail. It's in depth. We don't leave any stone unturned. And what's great about it, I get on the calls every 2 weeks with you. And be able to answer questions in the private Facebook group. So that's the escape plan. That covers a lot, right? Alone, that is worth the price of admission right there. We actually sold that for way more than price of admission for all these other products. Now, you get that, plus you get a 100K wholesaler. That's the in-depth version of scaling your business to $100,000 a month, right? And we go in detail and we basically base 100K wholesaler off the book Traction, right? Traction is written by Gino Winkman, and Gino Winkman explains how to scale a business using and understanding, first off, having goals. You have to have a goal of what you want to accomplish, and then understanding the numbers to achieve the goal, right? So our numbers in our business is how many leads we get, how much a lead costs, what our average deal size is, and how many leads it takes to get a deal. Those are the 3 KPIs that are the levers to our business, right? So once you understand those KPIs, then you can reverse engineer income. And Gino Winkman talks about that in the book, and what we do is we talk about that in 100K Wholesaler, but we relate it to the wholesaling business. Obviously, he doesn't. He doesn't relate it to wholesaling. He's in business in general. But we take those KPIs and then we do an organizational chart. And that organizational chart, like we talked about, is all the people involved. It takes all the different job descriptions that we have there. And then we show you what the income is for each job position, what the payroll is, how to do payroll, understanding that whole process as you grow. And then we talk about how to use meetings to gain traction in your business. Now, I work with a gentleman by the name of Joe Taylor. Came to me, he was a solopreneur. He was making about $300,000 a year, but he was working about 7 days a week, right? He didn't have time for his family. He didn't even have time to go to a baseball game. He didn't have time to go on vacation. He was just hustling 7 days a week, literally, wholesaling houses, doing everything himself. He's making about $350,000, $380,000 a year. He came to me just distraught. What do I do? And he was like grinding like that for years. So I said, hey, you've got to build a team. He goes, what do you mean? Leverage. You got to understand the leverage that, you can have people that are better than you do things, and you can increase revenue. They can achieve their goals. You can achieve your goal, and you can build a great company. So he did. Guess what? He hired Joanne, which is his lead manager, someone to manage the leads. Then he hired a friend of his that became an acquisition person. Then he hired a couple more acquisition people. Then he hired someone to sell the properties. And he had a little team. He didn't even have an office. He met at a Starbucks, and within 18 months, he did $3 million. He went from $300,000, he 10x'd his revenue, went from $300,000 to $3 million in 18 months, following the 100K wholesaler, what we're talking about right now. Now, that's 100K wholesaler. The last one in this video I want to talk about is Extreme Freedom. Now, I'm going to have Chris and prompt him. He's going to show some video footage right now of Extreme Freedom, of the event and what we talked about. It was amazing. Extreme Freedom, we had over 500 people there in the room. This is pre-COVID, of course. This was last October. And it was a phenomenal event. We had incredible speakers that shared the details. And I told each speaker, I said, listen, I'll have you on my stage, but you have to give the exact, specific, in-depth detail, and I don't want you to hold anything back. I want you to give your best stuff. And that's what I told each one of the speakers. They brought their best stuff, and it was the best event. Our reviews after the event were, above 5 stars. We didn't even have we had 5 stars, and people were giving us 10 stars. They loved it so much. It was a great event. It was awesome, and we recorded in high-def video the entire thing, and we're making it available to you. And we basically had right after the event, right after October, we had it basically at Extreme Freedom open for for people could buy the recordings, and we had a bunch of people scoop them up right after the event, and we've closed it, and it hasn't been available till right now. So we will be doing Extreme Freedom 2021, and we're planning our site and planning our dates that we can do that. So we're 100% confident that we can bring people together as we social distance and everything's going. I know it's stupid, but the bottom line is it's happening in 2021, and we'll get you the dates for that. But you're able to watch the 2019 in high def video, which is amazing. So that's the escape plan. 4 Phases of Freedom. That's a 100K wholesaler, and that is Extreme Freedom 2019. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Chris right now let a reel of the event of the 2019 event just kind of run here for a little bit. But secure your position below. We have limited amount. There should be a number above me of how many memberships we have available left. We have a timer on here as well, and that timer is basically when the sale will end, or whichever memberships, whichever comes first. So don't hesitate to get started. Now is the best time ever to get started in this business, especially of what is about to come. And I can tell you right now, there is a massive real estate default tsunami that's about to hit the market. And you want to position yourself so you know exactly how to do it, exactly how to capitalize on it, and be able to go out there and literally change your financial future. So don't hesitate, get started, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.